Hello, everybody. It's the Goatee Wrestling Champion Minnesota Joe here with another review of Raw. Sorry if you hear my dog today. He's sitting on my lap. We're going on vacation tomorrow, and yeah, he thinks we're leaving him behind. But I mean, we're taking him. He's just a baby. But enough about me. Oh yeah, so I guess that's the news I got to bring up is that I'm gonna be leaving tomorrow on a vacation, and I won't be able to put any videos up. So yeah, gonna be kind of a little complicated on that, but we've been planning a trip for a while, so I mean, gotta go to that. So I'll get a SmackDown review up before I go, and then I'm gonna have to leave. So you guys won't be able to hear my beautiful voice for a little bit. But hey, when I come back, we'll have some more fun. Sound good? Yeah. All right. So let's kick off with this Raw. So yeah, I'll just go through this show, and I'll tell you what I thought about it and blah. It's a little hard because this Raw wasn't that great. First off, we get Kurt Angle in the ring, which this was probably the best part of the whole show right here. He has the new women's champion, Alexa Bliss, come out, and Kurt announces that her and I are going to have a match at Extreme Rules, and they're going to face off. But Alexa, she's like, hey, give me the opportunity to speak. I want to thank everybody for all the opportunities given to me, so I can rub it in all your faces. And I was like, all right, that's, typical Alexa. And this fans start chanting, we want Ronda. And Alexa's like, mocking that, like, Ronda's never going to come out. She's not great. And then out comes Ronda Rousey. And she wants to kill Alexa, but Kurt's backing her off. And Alexa's like, whoa, calm down. And she starts bragging to Ronda, like, I took that title right out of your hands. How does that make you feel? And blah, 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 stuff like that. Just rubbing it in that she took the title right from her. Ronda almost had it, but Alexa had to come and swoop it right out from her. And she called her an irrelevant and overhyped rookie. And Ronda just lost her shit. This was great. She starts throwing Alexa and Kurt around, both of them. It was just awesome. And she starts beating both of them with the briefcase afterwards, and she's shouting, I thought you were my friend. Kurt just beats him with the briefcase, and then the referees come in, she beats them up, and then she picks up Alexa Bliss, deadlift, picks her up, just slams her right through a table to end the segment, which was awesome. This opened the show, and I was like, wow, this is going to be a great show. And then Kurt, he comes back, and he's furious that he's backstage with Ronda, and he suspends her for 30 days, and she might have costed her chance of ever being a champion here. And Ronda says, fine, I'll leave. And after that, she has an interview segment where, she says when her suspension's over, she's gonna come back, and whether Alexa Bliss is champion or not, she's gonna beat her ass. I'm like, oh man. This is how you should do stuff like that. Roman Reigns, his whole thing getting suspended because he out-talked the boss. He said something about the boss was just, stupid. This is Ronda getting suspended because she's killing everybody, and it's awesome. That's a face I want to see on Raw. Kind of like an old Stone Cold style face, Hey, sure, I'll play nice, but if you mess with me, I'll kick your ass. I like that. I love that. Rollins comes out. He says this place is full of energy, and he puts over Elias, saying he put him to his limit, but he's still the Intercontinental Champion, and says he's going to do an open challenge right now. And the man who comes out is Dolph. And I was disappointed. I'm like, ugh, Dolph Ziggler. Really? But then Drew comes out, and you couldn't tell which one was going to be in it, but it's Dolph. I'm like, great, it's Dolph. I'd much rather have it be Drew, because I want to see Drew versus Seth, because both those guys are awesome. But no more stuff with Dolph. So, Seth, he has control early. Dolph hits a really nice drop kick, and Dolph starts taking control for a while. I'm just like, man, Drew should be in this. Rollins, he took the Shawn Michaels corner bump, where he flips up over the top rope and then back down, like Shawn used to do, which is nice. Dolph, he steals the ask him gimmick, which is funny. I was like, that's funny. Just like, ask him. It's like, but it's Chris Jericho's gimmick, Dolph. Stay away from his gimmick, all right? But yeah, Dolph, he takes a slingshot and it looks like it kills him. And my recording messes up, and I thought there was a suicide dive when it came back, but I guess like when they show the replay of Seth, he tried to do a vertical suplex and he dropped him outside the ring. Like he just tumbles outside because he was out of energy, which I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool spot. Wish I could have watched it. Whatever. There's a series of roll-up attempts, which are all pretty awesome. Ripcord D for a near fall. There's a famouser after a missed curb stomp for a near fall. Seth hits Dolph with 2 super kicks after Dolph was doing the Shawn Michaels tuning up the band, and then Seth he goes for the frog splash but misses. Seth he stops Dolph going up top, but Dolph, he just keeps on countering, and Seth eventually hits a buckle bomb after Dolph jumps off the top rope for a crossbody, and Seth rolls through it, positions him into the buckle bomb, and throws him right into the corner. And McIntyre, he gets into the match, and Dolph goes for a roll-up. Seth kicks out, Seth goes for a roll-up, but then Dolph goes for another roll-up, and he loses the Intercontinental title to Dolph Ziggler after Dolph gets 2 handfuls of tights. And I was like, no! I like Seth Rollins. He's like my favorite guy on Raw, so I'm disappointed. Poor Seth. I love him as Intercontinental Champion, but I hope this is signs that he's going to move up. Maybe he'll be in that Universal title scene. I mean, I'd love to have him hold that Intercontinental title for a little longer, Maybe him and Dean have a feud, but, whatever. At least he lost it in a great match. I thought this match was actually really good otherwise, the finish with Dolph winning. And then Drew, he interferes at the end and beats up Rollins with Dolph. After the break, Dolph has an interview, and he says that the fans can cry, but Monday Night Rollins is over, and they're the show. And Drew says this is the first of many championships. And then Dolph says we don't need to be all like, oh, we got to burn things down, or this is our yard because we just prove it in the ring, mocking Seth and Roman, which I thought was pretty awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I like this pairing of Dolph and Drew. I think that Dolph and Drew are great, and fans at first, including me, are like, oh, great, Drew's gonna be paired up with Dolph, but I think this has done great for him because. What's Drew going to do? Is he going to be in that really thick Intercontinental title scene by himself and just, have, be put in the back of the line by a bunch of guys because there's so many, end up like Authors of Pain or Sanity where, they have all this stuff going on. They can't get them on TV. I mean, I'm happy that he's getting on TV with Dolph here, and this is actually a pretty cool pairing, and they're doing stuff. I like it, there's progress to the story. And when they finally break up, Drew is going to be a huge star. I even think Universal Champion within a couple years, man. He's great. Both these guys are doing great right now. And, yeah, hopefully that this stays great, Next is Bobby Roode versus Kurt Hawkins. Rube's all taped up in the ribs, so Hawkins goes after them. But then Roode, he hits the Spinebuster Glorious DDT for the win. It was just a squash match. Just nothing really exciting. Just to make Bobby look good. They should really turn him heel. Yeah. Okay, so there's a recap of the ladder match from last night, showing all the cool stuff that happened and Strowman winning. Leading up to the Strowman segment where he comes in and he starts listing off all of his destructive accomplishments, like beating Roman Reigns, tipping over that ambulance, tearing down stages. He even brags about playing a cello. I like that. I love Braun. And he says winning Money in the Bank was his greatest accomplishment, though, and says when Brock Lesnar shows his face, he's gonna get these hands. So yeah, that was awesome. Owens comes out. I'm surprised he didn't die, but he's all taped up everywhere, just looking terrible. He could barely talk, he could barely walk. It was funny. And he comes, Braun's like, I'm surprised you came out to see me after I destroyed you last night. And then Owens like, listen, I just want to be the first out here to congratulate you on your big victory. And he said he knew he'd win, and that's why he wanted to get everybody to team up against him, because he knew that Braun was going to win this. But then he says he wants to help Braun with a strategy to win that Universal title, and they both need a friend and stuff, and he says, hey, afterwards, you and me can feud for that Universal title. We can have a match for it. It'll be fun. And then he goes for the handshake. Braun shakes his hand, and Kevin tries to walk away, but Braun keeps grabbing. And Kevin has the look on his face of like, I'm about to cry because I know I'm going to die right now. And Braun, he tries to power slam him, but Kevin just gets out of there and runs. It was a great segment. I like both these guys. This is like great so far. I'm loving the show. But then we get to Sasha backstage with Bayley. And at this point, this is where the show turns downhill. And I start to hate it. After the first great half hour to an hour, we get this, and Bayley says she's sorry that Sasha lost the Money in the Bank. It says she can stop replaying that ladder match in her mind, and Sasha, she wants to be the best, and she's like, let's be friends again, blah blah blah. I hate this feud. It's the worst feud of the year, maybe of all time, because oh my god. End it already. Start it, actually. No, start your feud. You've been going through this for months and months and months and months. You've been teasing this since Bayley was champion. That was like a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago. And now we're finally starting to get towards something, I think. I don't know. Maybe next week they'll be back together. Leaders of Worlds versus Slater and Rhino. Cole, he's trash-talking Axel, and Axel, he's dressed like Matt Hardy and doing an impression, and Bo is dressed like Bray, which I thought was funny, since Bo and Bray are actually brothers in real life. That was pretty funny to watch. And they say that, they're like, we're the B team, we're coming for those tag titles, we're not scared of you. And while this is happening, Slater and Rhino attack, and Matt, he comes in and starts to delete Rhino afterwards, getting the heat back. And Slater and Rhino, they take control for a bit. Matt, he gets a hot tag after a side effect. Bray's killing Slater, and they hit the kiss of deletion for their win. Overall, it was a fine match. Just, nothing special. I hope that this Cole and King Maxwell thing ends in, Cole ending up at the Hardy compound, but maybe not. We'll see. That'd be fun. I'd love to see Michael Cole, the Hardy compound, just getting destroyed by King Maxwell. Let's have another, deletion show. Why not? Have them just have, one night Raw that's at the Hardy compound. That'd be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun to watch. And, you can have Cole versus King Maxwell, and you can have just all this cool stuff. That'd be fun. I think that'd be cool. Kurt's backstage. Constable Corbin says that Stephanie's happy that Ronda's suspended, and Kurt is annoyed. And he puts Kurt on the phone with Stephanie, and they go to a commercial, and they come back, and Kurt is like, well, there's a big announcement tonight, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Jinder Mahal versus Chad Gable. Chad gets a jobber entrance, which is, sad, because I love Chad Gable. He's a Minneapolis boy from Minnesota, man. And he's not getting over right now. It's kind of sad. And, Jinder comes out and he says that Roman may have won the match last night, but I have won the battle of self-improvement. I have found tranquility. And says, Gable, you're trying to live your dream, trying to relive the days of being an amateur wrestler, but you should just move on from that. Find tranquility. And then as soon as the bell rings, Jinder obviously becomes an aggressive asshole, which I thought was kind of funny. But, we've seen this before with his gimmick when he first came back. So I guess they're going back to that, blah, blah, blah. It's just weird. I got nothing for Jinder right now, it seems. And Gable, he takes him down with some awesome takedowns and showing his mat wrestling. He's showing a lot of fight. It's pretty back and forth, but then, Gable, he hits a great moonsault for a near fall, but then Jinder gets controlled back, hits the Colossus and wins. Overall, it's just a match. It's nothing special. House show quality. This whole part of the show is house show quality, honestly. It's like watching a house show. It's fun if you're there, but when you're watching on TV, it's like, dude, this isn't fun. Riot Squad, they're destroying stuff backstage, leading up to the match between Sasha, Bayley, and Riot Squad. Bayley buddies are the cutest thing ever. I love Bayley. She's awesome. Like, I actually really love Bayley. I'm really sad that they're just not doing anything with her, because I really like her. She's so cool. WWE, you're messing up so much. You're on my bad side right now with Bayley, man. You're messing her up. They're doing the on again, off again stuff, and it sucks. And Bayley, she starts out strong, and she won't tag in Sasha. Sasha keeps asking for the tag, but then Sasha tags herself in. The feud's dumb. I didn't even write much notes about the match, because all that was the fucking story was this feud, and this feud is annoying. It's too much. It's been going on too long, and it's not going anywhere. At least tonight it went somewhere, but I don't even know if next week it'll be like that, because we've seen this before. So I wouldn't be surprised if next week Sasha just comes in and it's just like, hey Bayley, let's be friends again. Come on, give me a hug. And then they hug, and they're back together. We've seen this before. I don't even know if this is going to be the actual start of the feud yet, because this feud has been going on for so long. It's not good. Someone, I think it was Steven Larson's podcast, they were pointing out that once the Mega Powers exploded in that feud, that great feud, they actually exploded. They weren't friends again the next week. I'll have to figure out who said that. I think it was Steven Larson's podcast. If you haven't watched theirs, going to Raw, check it out. It's great. But yeah, but yeah, that's a good point. All the other feuds that are like this, where two friends break up, when the breakup happens, they don't just get back together a week later. And this has happened at least 3 times. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is another thing like that, I'm just not going to get my hopes up that this is finally going to be the start of the feud and we're going to get a freaking great feud with some great matches. We're not going to get, because this beginning part has destroyed the feud. It's not good. It sucks. See if my dog's annoyed by it. So yeah, Riot Squad wins. Average tag match with a below average story. Sasha pushes Bayley. They bicker. Sasha pushes her down, walks away. Bayley chases her down backstage. They have a brawl. This is, I guess, a big breakup. And that's it. Kurt in the ring. He says he can't get this show under control. I'm like, yeah. I don't like this story that Kurt is a terrible boss and he can't get control of his wrestlers. This sucks. So he says there's been an agreement made by management for Brock's next match. Roman interrupts. Roman says he's the right competitor for Brock because he's the rightful Universal Champion. And blah, blah, blah. And blah, blah, blah. Management is screwing me. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's against me. Terrible story. I hate this. This is another one of the worst feuds of the year between Roman and WWE. Lashley comes out. Goes around and says, "You're the guy, huh?" And he says that Roman doesn't have what it takes to beat Brock. Says that he should face Brock and beat Roman because Lashley's wanted to face Brock for so long, which I'd actually kind of like to see that. I hope that happens someday. Brock and Lashley, because they're both kind of similar, both MMA guys went into MMA, but they also wrestled, and Lashley actually has a better record in MMA than Brock, so that'd be kind of a fun feud to be like, yeah, I got a better record than you. Lashley's actually not that bad. I don't think he's competed in the UFC, but he was in Strikeforce and stuff, so I think even Bellator, so Lashley's actually pretty legit. Kurt says that they're both worthy, and it's going to be a multi-person match at Extreme Rules, and the both of them are in the match. So it's basically a repeat of last year's Extreme Rules, where they had a multi-person match to determine who's going to face Brock Lesnar. Ain't it funny how the years just keep repeating themselves over and over and over again? If SummerSlam, this isn't the end, and Brock doesn't lose the title, it's going to be so hard to just watch WWE, man. Because I'm tired of watching this. Like, just the same stuff over and over again. With Brock not being there. We don't get to see the Universal title. Sometimes I forget there is even a Universal title. The show gets on my nerves. Revival comes out. They ask for a challenge against them. Roman, he's mocking them. And kind of an actually funny voice. I thought that was kind of funny. I'm like, Roman, if you did more stuff like that, you'd probably be more over. Because that was actually funny. He's like, whatever, we'll kick your ass. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to see out of Roman. Just guys like, I want to kick your ass. And I want to show that Lashley how it's done. And Roman, he starts, he pushes Dawson across the ring. There's a Let's Go Roman sucks chance. Dawson, he's doing some great technical wrestling. Both these guys are doing pretty good. I think this match would have been a lot better if the Revival weren't such goofs or nerds, because they've been losing so much. They're pretty much buried at this point, and there's no saving them, I think, And it's a shame, because I love the Revival. I love them in NXT. Their feud against DIY, their feud against Authors of Pain, that was some of the best tag team wrestling I've ever seen in my life. They are one of the best tag teams I've ever seen. And WWE, once they got to main roster, they messed it all up. Because I don't know why. They turned them into a joke team. Now they're nothing. They're not even a joke team. They're just jobbers. They shouldn't be. They're the best tag team to ever grace wrestling, man. They're fantastic. Wow, I'm at 20 minutes and I've just been ranting. I've been barely talking about the matches. Oh, can you tell that this show gets to me sometimes? So much bullshit. Alright, so Dawson takes control after Lashley tags himself in, and Lashley, he beats up both of them afterwards, and I guess the story of this match is that they're both Roman and Lashley are trying to outdo each other and be like, hey, look, I can beat up the jobbers better than you. But then they go for their classic kind of Revival moves where they're messing with them, and then one of them comes in and then hits a chop block. Wilder, he hit the chop block on Lashley, took control for a while, but then Lashley, he comes back with a belly to belly and makes a hot tag to Roman, which I kind of see them kind of making Lashley the guy who needs the help, and then Roman's the guy who comes in, saves the day. It's oh, I see what you're doing there. Roman, he beats up both men. He actually hits a pretty cool leg drop when I think it's Dawson. He's slumped on the middle rope. Roman comes and does a pretty cool leg drop. I was alright, that was kind of cool. He hits both men with a Superman punch after Wilder. He goes for a roll up. Lashley, Roman does a ooh ah, and then Lashley takes himself in and hits a spear for the win. It was a good tag match. I was like, yeah, you got the Revival in there who are great. Lashley and Roman, they're pretty good too. Really trying to, have this story where they're both trying to outdo each other. And I think it's kind of cool that they're bringing back that spear for Lashley, because I think Lashley needs that for a second finisher, because this vertical suplex, like I said in my Money in the Bank review, it only works for guys like Sami Zayn size and maybe a little bit above. Because Lashley, when he tried on Cass and Kevin, he almost killed them. So I think this spear is a good other move for him to do while he's doing this. While he's wrestling. When he faces a guy like Cass or Kevin, because I think he dropped Braun on his head. Honestly, I don't want to see Braun get injured by Bobby Lashley. That'd be too unfortunate. All right, Corbin backstage. We're almost to the end of this show. Wow, and it's only 20 minutes. Usually at this point it'd be 30, but yeah, this show just got me wild up. Corbin in backstage. Finn says he wants a shot at the Universal title. And Baron says, hey, you're a wimp. But yeah. Credit to Steven Larson for the Baron impression. Blah. But yeah, Kevin, he comes in. And, he's like... he's like, just, like, hey, you should listen to him, Finn. Then Balor's like, you're not really good at seeing the dangers behind you. And then Kevin turns around, Braun's right there, and Kevin runs like a little girl. And Braun, he's like, me and my buddy Finn want to face the two of you. We're going to kick your ass, and you're going to get these hands. I'm like, yeah, awesome. I like that Finn and Braun are besties or whatever, or not besties, but, they're pals. Because I'm like, yeah, I'd love to see, like, a ride-along with them. That'd be funny, I think. I'd like to see Braun and him start up a Balor Club faction. That'd be fun. I think that'd be a lot of fun, Monster Club something. I don't know. He's the muscle of Balor Club. That'd be fun. Then it's like Bullet Club, because then you got, Braun as like your kind of bad luck Fale kind of that guy who's just a big muscle. That'd be fun. Match 7. No Way Jose versus Mojo Rawley. Yeah, like I said, this show's a house show. This isn't a real Raw. It's just a house show that they put on TV. Jose, he's dancing around and, taking control. Mojo, and I put Mijo, gets him. Crowd is very quiet. Nobody cares. No Way hits a comeback. Mojo hits a chop block. Mojo wins with some slam thing. I think it's his finisher. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to Mojo Rawley, so I don't know much about him. I haven't watched the kickoff show for a pay-per-view for a long time, so I haven't seen much of Mojo's moveset. It was a piss break match. Everybody got their popcorn and pop for the main event, Mojo, he gets interviewed. He says WWE is more competitive now than ever, and he's going to bring more to the table, and instead of being hyped, he's going to be focused. Just typical stuff. Boring stuff. Bayley, she unsuns Sasha in the parking lot. Sasha drives off. Says she's done with her and blah. We'll see if this is true next week. I hope so. Just go somewhere with this damn feud already. Alright, there's an Elias segment, which kind of brought up a little bit for me because I love Elias. He sings a song that's titled, What Would Elias Do? He says Seth cheated because Elias couldn't be beat, and then Seth got what he deserved because he lost. Beautiful song. And he says, hey, you should, Kurt, you should put me in the main event. You should put me in that match at Extreme Rules for the #1 contendership. And then he says he's looking at the trash of Grand Rapids and stuff. I thought that was funny. Elias, best guy ever. I love Elias. He's just great. He's a great character. I mean, sure, he's not a fantastic wrestler. Like when he's in there with a guy like Seth Rollins, he's awesome. I think Elias is competent. He's like The Miz, great character. He just needs somebody to carry him to a great match. But I mean, it's like it takes two to tango, and him and The Miz, both of them, they get their spots right. They get in the right position every time, and they know like when to hit great moves and stuff, and their styles, they're not like exciting, but when they get in there with an exciting guy, the match is great. I love it. Seth Rollins has an interview, and he says there's no excuses to what happened. He lost, and then Dolph was a better man tonight. And then Renee asks, what about Drew? What do you think of him? And Seth says, Drew's a problem, but I have 1 week to take care of him because I'm invoking my rematch clause next week. So we're going to get another match with the two of them next week. Hopefully it's awesome. I bet it will be because this match was great. And, let's see what they do this time. Give them like 20 to 30 minutes. Have it be the main event of the show. Screw it. Let's do it. Because both these guys are great in the ring. And, I think it'd be fun. Main event time. Balor and Braun versus Owens and Constable Corbin. Kevin, when he's walking out, he's saying how it's unfair that he's has to fight because he's so hurt. Corbin is still in a suit. He wrestles in his suit, and it's weird. Corbin and Balor, they start. Corbin, he starts to take control early and pushing Balor around, really throwing him everywhere. Kevin, he gets tagged in and hits a move, then gets out, which I thought was funny. Braun, he gets tagged in, and Corbin, he was mocking him on the apron, and now he looks regretting that he did that to Braun. And he takes his vest off, locks up with Braun. Braun just throws him everywhere. Owen distracts for Corbin to take control. Braun comes back, and then he kills Kevin along with Corbin. Kevin took this bump. It was a clothesline. Kevin landed right on his shoulders and neck. I was like, oh my god, Kevin, you are just getting murdered by Braun. I like the Kevin and Braun feud because it's just Kevin, by the end of this, I'm pretty sure he's going to be in a wheelchair, and Braun is going to keep attacking. He's just be like, just stop hurting me. It's so funny. I love this feud. Braun, he does a military press with Balor onto Owens and Corbin on the outside before the commercial, and that was a really cool move. When they come back, Corbin has control. Owens, he tags himself in and pulls Balor outside to attack him, with Balor not noticing. Kevin, every move he does, the story is he just keeps wincing in pain after every little thing he does. Even in chin locks, he's wincing. That's how much he got hurt in that Money in the Bank match. Corbin, he comes back in to take control again. Corbin, he hits a really good right on Balor for a near fall. There's a cool deep six for a near fall. Balor, he's running to Braun, and he reaches out, but Corbin just grabs him right before and does a deep six. I thought that was a really cool move. Great timing by both guys there. That was actually really well done. I think that was my favorite spot of the night for this match, man. That was really cool. Poor Kevin gets his ass kicked. Baron, he stops Balor from getting in the hot tag over and over again. Braun, he comes in to save Finn. He doesn't get tagged in. He just runs in, beats up Corbin, beats up Owens. Then he takes Balor and tosses him into his corner, which I thought was a cool moment. Runs back, tags himself in. Strowman runs wild. KO, he tries to save Baron, but that just makes Braun mad, and he tries to chase him, but Corbin hits a nice diving clothesline right onto Braun. Balor tags in and runs wild. Owens breaks things up, but then Braun comes in, shoulder tackles Kevin, and then smashes him through the barricade. And Balor, he goes up for a coup de grace, but then Baron Corbin pulls him down, hits him with an end of days for the win. It was a good match, but, it felt like a main event for a house show instead of Raw, man. It was a meh show. It was hard to get through at the end. The beginning part of the whole show was awesome, but this end was just not great, man. You got Sasha Bailey, which was boring and lame, and I don't know if it's going to be the star of the feud yet. I mean, it probably is, but knowing this company, they might delay it a little bit longer because God hates us. And then you get just, stuff like Bobby Roode versus Kurt Hawkins, which was like 5 seconds. You get No Way Jose versus Mojo Rawley. I keep forgetting his name. That's how good he is. Okay, Mojo's not a bad wrestler. He's just not booked good. I don't blame the wrestlers for how they're booked. But, maybe Baron, because, maybe if he was a fantastic wrestler, he wouldn't be the constable right now. But even then, that's probably a better position than most guys on the roster. At least he's on TV. You get like a cool main event, but it's like it would have been an awesome end to a house show, but like for Raw, it's like it's just there. It's just there, The show, like I said, the first part felt like a Raw, but then it felt like a house show. Like, it legit just felt like I went to a WWE Raw house show. And I've been to a couple, and they're fun. I like them. Like, I'm not bashing their house shows, because, they're actually kind of fun. It's fun to see the wrestlers just sit back, relax, have a little fun. But when I'm watching it on TV, it's not fun. Because when I'm watching it on TV, I'm not there live. I'm not experiencing, it live with a bunch of people. So it's not fun. I don't know. I just hope that Raw can turn things around. And I'm betting SmackDown's going to be great tonight. Because we're probably going to figure out who's next for AJ. From commercials I've seen for Raw... for SmackDown on Raw, it sounds like they're gonna move on from AJ Nakamura for a bit, which is good. They should move on from that. I don't want one more match between AJ and Nakamura. I think Nakamura should probably go for the US title. But we might see maybe AJ versus Samoa Joe, AJ versus The Miz, AJ versus Rusev, AJ versus Daniel Bryan, AJ versus somebody, man. We could have some pretty great feuds right now, because there's so many good competitors out there. I really think AJ versus AJ versus The Miz would be a pretty cool feud. I think I want to see that one up next, I think delay that Samoa Joe feud just a little bit more, because that one should be a really big pay-per-view, Maybe give it a month. Have their first match be at SummerSlam. Or, hell, if you want to delay it to, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, or WrestleMania, that would be nice too. But we'll have to see about that. But yeah, I am excited to see what they do on SmackDown. SmackDown actually has me excited for what's coming up next. Raw, I know what's coming up next. It's gonna be just the same old stuff. We're gonna get another Roman Reigns promo next week, why he should be Universal Champion. We're gonna get weird stuff with Bobby Lashley. We're going to see Braun destroy stuff. We're going to see Finn look cool but never get an opportunity to win. We're going to see Constable Corbin. And we're going to see Kurt Angle suck at his job. And that's another thing I got to say about this show. And Raw in general. The whole authority figure storyline, it sucks for me. I can't handle authority figure storylines anymore. Everybody wants to be Vince McMahon. But there was only one Vince McMahon, and that was Vince McMahon himself. Because Vince McMahon was great because it was back in a time where, you had movies, we had some movies, and TV shows about terrible bosses, and you want to kick their ass, and they suck. It was the 90s, man. They had, movies like Office Space and all that. People hated their bosses. And they wanted to watch Raw because Vince McMahon was that boss that they hate, and you watch him get beat up, and it's fun. You'll love it. I don't think you do that nowadays with Stephanie, because, first off, times have changed a lot. We don't, it's not logical to beat up your boss. We want to see actual wrestling now. We don't want to see a goofy show anymore. We want to actually watch wrestling, a lot of us. And secondly, Stephanie's a woman, which I'm not saying that women aren't as good as men. Don't come attack me, feminists. I'm just saying she can't get beaten up by Roman Reigns. She can't get beaten up by Bobby Lashley. She can't get beaten up by anybody, because it would just be weird. And then, you got Baron Corbin there as her proxy. He could probably be beaten up, He's going to be beaten up, which I think would be fun. But so far that's not happening. And then you got Kurt, who's stuck in the middle, and he's confused and he looks tired, and I just feel bad for him. I'm like, ugh. I love Kurt Angle. He's one of my all-time favorites. He was my favorite wrestler growing up as a kid. I loved Kurt, but lately it's just not doing it for me. So yeah, that's the end of the show. Put in the comments what you guys thought. Email me. I think my email's you can find that on my channel page. Email me stuff, whatever, man. Just give me some feedback, what you thought of the show. Don't just take my opinion. I think my opinion's right, obviously. No, I'm just kidding. We're all entitled to our own opinions. If you enjoyed the show, if you thought that this was awesome, good. I'd like to hear about why you liked it, why you enjoyed all this stuff. But personally, for me, I want to see something else besides this. So, yeah. Well, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe, like, whatever. I'm gonna just... I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I cry because Raw sucks. I just hope that this is the end of Sasha Bailey. Bye.